I was told you were coming.
A slayer.
Put himself stuck, rather like a cork in a bottle.
My ascension is almost at hand.
Jeez.
I don't like vampires. I'm gonna take a stand and say they're not good.
I knew I could count on
It's fucking
I
fantastic.
love that sound.
you. The ice cream bar's this way.
Oh, right, I'm opening.
Did you forget already?
Welcome back. I did. This is Beer with Buffy. I'm Josh,
I'm Rex.
and this is Season 2, Episode 1 of Beer with Buffy and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's right, we're back. You can't fucking get rid of us. We are permanently slathered all over the fucking internet now. And if you've made it this far, that should be good news. So, the name of this episode of Buffy was When She Was Bad,
Yes.
which I'm not entirely sure, even having just watched the episode, that I get the significance of that, but
Right.
okie doke,
Because
she had
Buffy's...
a major tude the whole
Yeah.
time. Like, Cordelia had to put her in her place.
Yeah. Cordelia called her.
Holy...
Okay. Before we actually get into talking about the episode,
Sure.
Josh, how about a mom synopsis?
Oh, son of a bitch. We're keeping that, huh?
Do you not want to?
I know I'm absolutely fine with that, since we never came up with an alternative.
No, we never did.
Oh, I wasn't prepared for this. I'm getting hot flashes. Joshua, we're doing the mom synopsis again. I told you to stop making fun of me. Come on, Mom. You know you haven't listened to the podcast yet. And if you did, you're holding it back. You haven't even told me yet. And I'm just sitting here biting my nails going, oh, God, has she listened to it yet? This is terrifying. No, I haven't listened to it yet. I don't actually support you. I just own the house that you live in. And I feed you.
Are you going to actually get to the episode?
I stock the groceries.
Get to the episode.
I keep track of our blind and deaf dog. Sometimes. No, seriously though, I was looking out the window and I saw my mom running off down the street. Because the dog was all the way down the street. This dog is blind and deaf. I'm like, maybe you should put it on a rope.
More importantly, it is a blind deaf chihuahua. Like, a squirrel could eat this damn thing.
At the very least, they'd be best of friends.
So, apparently
I'm back from chasing the dog, Joshua. Where are you at in this episode of Buffy? Why is Buffy being such a cornhole? Why is this happening? If you'd seen the first season, maybe. Okay, so Buffy gets back from LA and she meets up with Xander and Willow. She's like, no, I haven't slayed anything all summer. It's been really boring. And Xander's like, yeah, I've been bored too. And Willow's like, not me. And he's like, oh, I mean, not me too. And they run into Giles, and Miss Calendar is like totally part of the crew now, and so is Cordelia. The Anointed Child continues to not be the most annoying child actor of all time. And okay, he actually did have one line that I really enjoyed, and hopefully it was his last.
I hope so. I don't think it is.
So basically, the Master tries to get one last hurrah, and Buffy works out her shit. That's what happens. Oh, and possibly, just maybe, I'm gonna go ahead and knock on wood real quick. We may have witnessed the death of Nice Guy Xander.
Oh,
just maybe.
Yeah, just maybe. Let's hope, guys. Let's really hope.
Fingers crossed. That was real wood that I just knocked on. Maybe it wasn't.
No, that's real wood.
Okay, could have just been a cheap pressed wood TV tray, for all I knew.
No, it's real wood.
I don't trust you to not cheap out on furniture, Rex.
I didn't purchase that.
Oh, excellent.
I stole it from a roommate.
That's the best kind of furniture.
Yes.
Is this for me? I must be ready. I need my strength. Give me more! Night, I shall walk the earth. Hold on. You've got something in your eye.
So we opened on the episode to Willow and Xander walking at night.
Yeah.
And they're eating ice cream, or Xander's eating ice cream.
Xander was eating ice cream.
They obviously came directly from the ice cream shop. How appropriate.
It was all a ploy. She never actually wanted ice cream.
And they're playing a dumb game where
they're quoting lines from movies, and they're trying to guess what movie it's from.
And it's a cute little interaction, and
oh, it's an amazing little interaction. Like, the second she hoists herself up onto the wall, I'm like, ooh, she's at perfect kissing height. There's no way any man can resist that, whether he's into her or not.
And
it's not possible.
They do this cute thing where Xander gets ice cream on her nose and goes to lick it off, and they're about to kiss. And
a fucking vampire is just like, hey guys, what you doing? And they're like, oh no.
But more importantly, though, right during this interaction, Willow mentions Buffy to Xander, and Xander just, and in a fashion that like felt very sincere, he's like, no, I'm so over her.
So over her.
I wrote down, I fucking hope so.
You fucking better be, after the way she walloped him down.
So
but then he's still like, but a man has desires and stuff and needs or some shit. And I'm like, careful, down boy. You almost had a romantic moment.
The vampire attacks him, and Xander actually like pushes Willow behind him and like goes to fight the vampire.
I didn't notice that. However, there was something I wanted to bring up real quick first. So Xander wipes off the ice cream from her nose that he put on her nose. Mm-hmm. And I mean, if you were there, it made sense. So whatever.
You've watched the episode.
Yeah, we don't need to cover that. And then he takes awkwardly way too long to continue wiping her face with this napkin. And it's like, are you wiping it onto her neck now? What is going on? It's like, I get that you want to prolong the moment, but come on already.
I think
keep it moving, Haas.
To me, it struck me as nerves. He was being nervous.
I didn't get that sensation at all. I'm really just being an asshole. I didn't think he was actually wiping it on her neck, but there was definitely like no reason for him to be wiping the napkin around back there. I mean, at that point, drop the napkin, caress her lightly with your fingers. You know?
Yeah.
Come on.
But Buffy shows up and saves them.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually gets a really good dusting of this vampire because she...
Oh, yeah.
Does she kick him or throw him?
I think it was a kick.
I think it's a kick. And he...
just launches him.
Kicks him, and he flies through the air, and he hits a tree. He's stabbed on a tree branch.
There's an errant broken branch or something.
And it's a really, really good death there.
Very well placed.
And then
branch.
she says, did you miss me? And it goes to credits.
So we come back from credits. We're still on the same scene. Xander hugs Buffy twice. The second time, she does that little double pat. Not quite the I'm not gay pat.
Yep.
But the okay, stop pat.
And it's a slight moment here where you can't tell if Xander is responding the way he is because he still obviously has his heart on for Buffy, or he's legitimately like, oh, thank God she was here to save us from the vampire.
You know, I definitely got a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think, frankly, this is another great Xander episode, just in general.
It really is.
It's a great showcase for Nicholas Brendan's acting skills.
Definitely.
And it is so sad to me that he probably didn't get much work after Buffy because he was, labeled as, oh, you're just fucking Xander now. There's nothing we can do with you anymore.
Yeah, he does a great job with this.
Yeah.
Then we go to school, and we are reintroduced to Cordy, being Cordy.
Yep. Nice little open on Cordy. It was all just so essence of Cordy, I didn't even bother writing it down.
Me either. I just wrote Cordy being Cordy.
There it is.
And then I wrote Snyder being Snyder.
And she didn't even say anything particularly...
No.
Particularly, like, sociopathic this time around.
No,
Which fits with what they're doing with their character now.
Yeah, very
I
much so.
appreciate that.
And then I wrote Snyder being Snyder.
Fucking loved this Snyder scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Snyder and Giles are walking, and Snyder is just talking mad shit about all the students and everything. And Giles is like, do you ever consider that maybe if you...
Wait, okay, hold on.
I didn't write down the quote. Did
This
you write down the quote?
is what I got the quote. So Snyder's talking to Giles. He's like, it always gets me. One day the campus is completely bare. The next there are children everywhere, like locusts, crawling around mindlessly bent on feeding and mating, destroying everything in sight in their relentless, pointless desire to exist. And I'm like, Jesus Christ! Goddamn, Snyder, tell us how you really feel. So Giles is like, did you ever think that given your abhorrence of children, perhaps school principal was not your true vocation? I was like, nah, very Gilesy of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Snyder's response is perfect because he's like, somebody's got to watch him.
It just, there's still yet to be a Snyder moment that isn't pure gold.
No, he is unquestionably perfect casting
You know,
and perfect writing as this specific character.
Quick side note, that other show he was on, Star Trek,
Deep Space
Nine, thank you. I always assumed that the way he talked was because his fake teeth kind of, messed up his speech pattern a bit.
Right.
It seems to be almost like identical, even without the false teeth.
It's actually really impressive that you really couldn't tell on that show. And
Yeah.
the difference between his voice, he's just that fucking good of an actor.
Yeah.
He's so perfect for this role. The fact that he's this really small guy, but he's just so angry. And he hates everything.
He is a dynamite-filled little man.
Yes.
He's so adorable.
And we get
He's so angry.
we get a pleasant little moment with Giles and Miss Calendar. And it's
Yeah,
hilarious.
they do this fantastic little bit where they're doing exactly the shit that Snyder's talking
Yep.
about that he hates in kids.
And they walk off, and Snyder is still rambling on about how much he hates everyone.
they
and
literally
hates all these
leave him
kids.
there talking to himself as he's saying, I might as well be talking to myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I actually like that they cut before showing him turn around and realize he's talking to himself.
Yeah. It's like he never even realized. As far as we know, he just kept walking and forgot that Giles was even with him. Or, I postulate, I don't know if I used that word correctly, but...
You did.
Excellent.
Good job.
I postulate... No. That this happens to Snyder all the time.
Yes.
He wouldn't know how to end a conversation were somebody to give him the opportunity. He just expects people to walk away from him.
Exactly.
That seems most likely. Anyway, so next scene.
You quit clinking your bottles together.
Sorry, I'm double fisting it here, guys.
There's a reason why you're here. The reason why it's now. There's a reason why you're here. The reason why it's now.
So, Miss Calendar and Giles run into the Scooby Gang. I didn't write much down about this whole interaction, but I did mention, so they tell Giles about the vampire, and Giles is like, oh, I'll consult my books. And
Oh, yeah.
Xander replies with, 8 minutes and 33 seconds, pay up. I called 10 minutes before you couldn't consult your books about something.
Yeah, my question about that is, when exactly did he make that bet? This conversation did not span 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
No.
In
You're
fact,
right.
I noted the actual timestamp of the episode. It was about 10 minutes. So,
Damn, it would have been hilarious if that had happened at 8 minutes and 33 seconds.
right? I mean, yeah, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense.
I wonder if it would match up if you took the opening out. That sounds like work.
I doubt it. Anyway, it's quite the inane little thing to nitpick at, but that's why we're here. So,
Yes.
if the moment worked, that's really what's important. But,
And then-
I mean, seriously, though, was he standing upstairs not knowing at all when he was going to run into Giles, betting $10
Yeah.
on a 10-minute window? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense at all. I mean, he won, but okay.
Giles is like, "Oh, do you want to start training Buffy?" And she says yes. They immediately go to the end of the day where it's a training montage. And boy, is it a training montage. And it's a really good bit of training. Like, they do great work of swapping in the stunt double. And Sarah Michelle Gellar. Like, she beats the hell out of a dummy and breaks it.
She does. I never even think about stunt doubles. You are always thinking about the stunt doubles.
I don't know. I guess I notice it.
That's good stunt double. Oh, yes. So,
from there, we go to vampire preaching.
Shit a doodle do.
We go to a warehouse, and there's a vampire who's preaching. We discover that the Anointed One is still around.
And so his speech goes something like this. Blah, 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 blah. He will show us the way.
Yeah.
No, he fucking won't. They pan over to the kid. Like, he'll show us the way.
Him. I had forgotten that he was even in the second
right,
season.
I did not think they would bring him back at all. Here we are, though. That fucking kid.
So then we're back to the school, and I want to mention the set they're on here, which is the couch set.
Yeah.
This is the first time we get to see it.
Would you like to hear my description of this set?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, cut to, where the fuck are they? Some kind of lounge in a high school? And it's not destroyed or completely overrun with assholes? That's my set description.
More importantly, though, this set shows up, like, for seasons, till they're done with high school.
Does it?
They return here many times.
I noticed it came up a couple more times throughout the episode.
Yep.
I was like, I guess they needed to get out of the library for a minute.
Yeah, and it adds to the school, I think. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know what kind of utopian bizarro land high school this is, but I clearly went to the wrong fucking high school.
It's California.
That is a nice-ass little lounge.
It's California.
That would do it. Yeah. I've never been to the West Coast, save for a couple of changeovers at a airport.
Right.
So
yeah, that doesn't count. But this scene with the couches is actually a nightmare that Buffy is having.
It is.
Because Giles walks up and nonchalantly decides to try and kill her.
He does. And Willow and Buffy just sit there and...
Willow and Xander just sit there.
That's what I meant.
And ignore... It's really well done and really disturbing.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the level of disturbing.
The way they shot it and the way they put it together, the facial expressions on both Xander and Willow, they're like, oh, this is a thing that's happening. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Even in Buffy's dreams, did you notice that Willow and Xander can exchange snacks without even discussing it?
They both pull snacks out. Willow pulls out an apple. Xander pulls out like some sort of health food bar.
I thought it was a Pop-Tart or something.
It's in a silvery wrapper. It might be a Pop-Tart. They just look at each other, don't say a word, and toss the snacks to the other one.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty clever.
It's like,
it's actually a nightmare.
Yeah.
Buffy wakes up, and Angel is standing in her room.
Just hovering over her. I think she rearranged her bedroom or changed rooms. That bedroom set looks nothing like it used to.
I don't know. I didn't really focus too much on the
I'm thinking about the puppet episode where the puppet comes in through the window.
Well, there's windows on both walls.
Okay.
I just don't think you can see the other window that the puppet came in.
I guess I just never, because now the window's on the left of the bed. I feel like it used to be on the right.
There was still a window there.
Not really important.
Hold on. This brings up, I want to ask you a very important question here.
Oh.
So, Angel is there when Buffy wakes up from a nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay. How often does Angel do this? Because think about it. He stood there and waited. She woke up from the nightmare. She rolls over and sees him. And she's like, oh, hello. And he says, oh, is it okay if I come in? He's already fucking in her room.
Yeah.
Does he regularly show up at her house and watch her sleep? What happens if she didn't wake up from the nightmare? What if she just slept till dawn?
That is a very real possibility.
And, like, does he regularly show up at her house and watch her sleep waiting for her to wake up? And if she doesn't wake up, does he just go, oh, I guess I will talk to her tomorrow?
Just to counter that, just for funsies, just for shiggles, if you will, she does mention that something like, if he hadn't woken her up, blah, 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 blah. So they made it sound like he specifically woke her up. It wasn't necessarily the nightmare. Also, I don't believe either scenario, that she woke up from the nightmare or from him, she looked more like she was thirsty or needed to pee. She did not look even vaguely disturbed by that nightmare. She looked annoyed.
To be fair, though, think of the kind of nightmares that this girl has to have. Like, could you imagine her psyche at this point?
Like, that's one of the more tame nightmares.
Yeah.
I believe
Like,
it.
Seriously.
Yeah,
'Cause-
it's amazing she's not more fucked up in this episode than she is.
yeah, really.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but she gives Angel some attitude, and he says, okay, sorry, I guess I'll leave. And as he's about to leave, he's like, oh, I missed you. And then she rolls back over and says, I missed you too, but he's already gone.
Yeah. Funny how the timing works in this scene. Like, she rolls over and turns her back to him while she's still in bed, while he's uninvitedly in her bedroom.
Yeah.
And she has major trust issues now that she knows he's a vampire, and she's the fucking slayer. She's got a fucking vampire in her fucking bedroom. And she turns over huffily.
And then after she rolls back over and realizes she's gone, she's obviously like, oh, how dare he just leave? And she's upset that he just left. It's like, you told him to leave.
I'm just nitpicking the timing of the whole event, because he, like, took way too long to be like, okay, I'll leave. I missed you. And she turns around and, like, 0.04 seconds after he said, okay, I'll leave, bam, he's gone now. And she's like, but I want, oh. It's almost like somebody was editing this.
Yes.
Hey, got your steak. Hey, got your steak.
And they play sad piano again.
Yeah, and then cue the sad panda music. Somebody's a sad panda. She's even got the panda glasses. And her mom says...
So yeah, the next morning she's going to school.
She's riding to school with her mom in the car, and she says, is there the slightest chance you would tell me what's wrong if I asked you? And I'm like, well, for fuck's sake, not anymore when you ask like that.
No.
Thanks, though, Mom.
That's not how you get questions answered.
Joshua,
Especially not from a 16-year-old girl.
why am I driving you to school, Joshua? Why did you miss the bus again? Maybe it's because I'm really depressed, Mom. God.
So they run in the three run into Cordy.
Xander, Willow, Buffy at Buffy's locker.
And Cordy,
I would like to nickname this scene, aptly named by Buffy herself, Hormones on Parade. This episode brought to you today by the letter H. Again.
yes.
You're welcome.
So Cordy is being very un-Cordy-like.
Yeah.
She's being really fucking nice.
She's being way
She's
nice.
being downright fucking pleasant.
But first, they're talking to Buffy's talking to Willow and Xander about Angel being in a room last night, and I just thought it was funny because Willow's like, "Was it about kissing?" Buffy's like, "Not everything is about kissing," and Xander's like, "Some things are about groping." It wasn't about groping. And
Didn't even catch.
this is another one of those moments that I'm like, God damn it, that line would not work without Nicholas Brendan's fucking fantastic delivery.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, underrated. Very underrated, man.
So Cordy starts talking about the events of the season finale.
Well, if it isn't the Three Musketeers,
yeah. And they're like, that's not an insult.
you can do better, Cordy. Come on. You're being disappointing right now.
But no, all the insults in this scene come from Buffy.
Yeah.
She has two amazing
And
ones.
she ran way
I wrote them
ahead.
both down.
Good. Yeah.
The first one is, Cordelia, your mouth is open. Sound is coming from it. This is never good.
She wasn't wrong.
No.
Well, I
Because
mean...
Cordy is very openly talking about the events.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, though, Cordelia was only talking about demons and vampires, which is suddenly a problem. I mean...
And no one cares.
Exactly.
No one around
Exactly.
even fucking flinches about it.
And now they're all fucking giving a shit. Like, Cordy won't shut up about demons and vampires, and as we've already established this episode, it's apparently not a great idea to discuss these things loudly in public crowded spaces, where abso-fucking-lutely nobody is listening at all, and even if they happened to see a crowded room full of vampires at the Bronze, wouldn't remember it the next day anyway. So, I'm glad we cleared that one up.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Cordy actually is like they tell her like, hey, maybe you should be a little bit quiet about this, and she's like, oh man, yeah, you're right. And she's like, don't worry, Buffy, your secret is safe with me.
Well, she got in her one and only real dig at that moment. She was like, you don't think I'd tell people that I was hanging out with you losers all night?
Right. But
everything else, though, was pretty mild from the Cordelia end.
I mean, and even that's not really a insult coming from her necessarily.
Uh-huh.
But... So she tells Buffy, don't worry, your secret is safe with me.
She set the bar so high.
Yes.
That insults from Cordelia are just normal conversation.
Yeah. But her out from this scene is, that works out great. You won't tell anyone I'm the Slayer, and I won't tell anyone you're a moron.
Ouch.
And just walks out. So we're back to the Bronze, as there's some concert going on by a band I've never even heard of.
Oh my god, this scene.
They're very excited about this band.
It's a really good band, actually.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable.
I'm like, man, they're really digging deep in the culture in this area. The sound was new and fresh.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, or at least it sounds new and fresh now.
But we get
for 98 or whenever this was.
Late 2007, I think, or early 2000.
Yeah.
Or
90.
No, 97 and
1997.
God damn.
I do love me some 90s music. I am a 90s kid.
But Xander is in nice guy mode here at the Bronze.
He flirts with it. He flirts with he's flirting more with nice guy mode than he does with Willow.
Yeah, he's definitely hanging out a little bit as dickbag Xander as well.
He's sitting there all wistfully waiting for Buffy to show up.
Yeah.
And
he was so over her. He was so over her.
So over her. Can I say, I almost fucking cried.
Yeah.
I almost fucking cried. I'm choking up right now thinking about it, dude. Willow, she had the cutest fucking sad kitten moment in the history of the planet.
Xander, you tool.
God damn it.
She's so sad.
Oh my god.
Obviously he's so caught up on Buffy, and she fucking takes her ice cream and sticks it to her nose.
Just trying to recreate the moment that they had that was almost perfect.
And Xander just looks at her and goes, "You have something on your nose."
This fucking dick.
What an asshole.
Nicholas Brendan, I personally hate you for this. How dare you let this beautiful piece of cinema happen? No, good on you, though. Xander, you can fucking eat a dick, though.
So Buffy comes in.
God damn.
And Angel's there, randomly.
Yeah.
But Buffy just outright rejects Angel.
Oh, wait, before that happens, we have a quick cut to the graveyard with the Anointed and his minions.
Right, they're digging up the Master.
Digging up, well, we don't know that it's the Master's bones yet, but I assumed.
Well, they gave some hints that his bones were buried in the graveyard.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the very first scene before the opening credits.
So you could totally tell that those guys' nails were fake, because he was just palming the dirt out, and he's like, "Oh, it burns, it burns," and they're like, "Shut up and dig, it burns," and the skull was like under 3 inches of loose dirt. Come on,
Giles! Like, Giles, what the fuck? What? You can't dig a deeper hole to put the fucking corpse in?
I was gonna say they buried the fucking bones, didn't they? Jesus,
damn it, Giles!
God.
What good is making it consecrated ground if it's just 3 inches of dirt?
Yeah, and the burns didn't even really amount to anything, just some guy whining a little.
No.
Anyway.
Like, for all the work that they must have gone through to bury those bones, like, it was super easy for the vampires to get the bones out. It's super easy.
Way too easy. And apparently they kept the skeleton completely intact.
Yeah.
Like, its tendons and cartilage apparently holding it together still.
It's hard for me to say anything cool or witty or at all. I can usually make a few vowel sounds and then I have to go away.
I don't mean to interrupt your downward mobility.
Yeah, you're the Slayer
I
and
just wanted to
we're
tell
like the Slayerettes.
Oh, please.
So anyway, we jump back to the Bronze, and Angel tries to talk to Buffy.
Yes, which is thoroughly more important teen drama than
Oh, yes.
anything regarding the Master.
Fuck the plot. We don't need plot. We need trauma.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, Rex. God, get on the...
So
Get with it.
she, for all the bullshit of Nice Guy Xander, holy shit, is Buffy just so in the fucking wrong in this scene.
So she's talking to Angel, and she's like, I've moved on to the living. And I'm like, no, you haven't.
No, you haven't.
And she walks up to Xander, and I'm like, oh, don't you fucking dare.
Takes full, hardcore, cruel advantage of his adoration of her.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh my God, asks her to dance.
A dance so wrong.
Oh,
Even
God.
Xander doesn't look like he's enjoying it.
No, and so many kudos to his acting in this, because it, like, you can see his, this is not right, something isn't right here, I feel wrong, I'm not comfortable with this.
It was palpable.
And Willow's looking on to them dancing, and she's upset. Angel's upset. Cordy, who's on the other side of the room, is watching this upset.
Rex, I have a dramatic reading I would like to perform.
Very well.
The Bronze was in mourning that night. It mourned for dignity. It mourned for respect. It mourned for all of mankind. But most of all, it mourned for Willow's ice cream. And I stand by that.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So, Buffy is outright grinding against Xander here.
Fuck a doodle doo.
And turns around and, like, almost kisses him, but doesn't.
So close.
And whispers to him.
I was going to be so pissed if she did.
Oh, yeah.
So pissed.
But it's worse.
I was pissed anyway.
Like, it's worse that she didn't.
Yeah.
Honestly, what she did was way worse, because she very sensually whispers to him, "Did I ever thank you for saving my life?"
Uh-huh.
And he's like, "No." And she, like, walks around him and grinds up against him a little more and goes, "Don't you wish I would?" And then walks out. And he's just standing there in utter fucking shock.
Yeah.
And everyone's in fucking shock.
I couldn't tell if that was supposed to be an invitation to follow her or just an insanely huge fuck you.
Yeah.
Because,
Like,
wow.
I can't, like, okay.
Like one that even Xander doesn't necessarily deserve.
No, Xander has been an asshat for a whole fucking 12 goddamn episodes before this point. But, like, he's still your fucking friend.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
You turned him down on the last episode, like, completely. You're like, hey, no, we're friends. And then you fucking manipulate him and use him to this, like, cruel end solely, obviously, to fuck with Angel.
I was so proud of him, though, for not falling for it.
Oh, yeah.
So fucking proud.
I think, and this is the moment where I think maybe, just maybe, Xander's like, you know what? Fuck that.
That's exactly what I said. I said, are we witnessing the death of Nice Guy Xander?
If
I
he
think we are.
If he still has it for her after this, then there's no respect I could have for this character.
And clearly he has no self-respect at this point.
Oh, exactly.
I really don't think that happens, though.
But it's so bad that after Buffy leaves the Bronze, Cordy comes out and is like, that was bullshit. Cordy is like, how bad do you have to be that Cordy calls you out for being cruel and mean?
Yeah. And we've been avoiding
Holy shit.
We've been avoiding the term bitch, but they actually use it here.
They do.
In several times in this episode, in reference to Buffy's
I actually
behavior.
wrote down a quote specifically in for the next scene.
Yeah, something like, "Are you going for bitch of the year?"
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, what? Are you worried that I'm going to take your title?
Yeah.
Or are you worried for competition?"
She's like, "Oh, I can hold my own," which is nice and all.
But yeah, and so Buffy ends up just walking away, and at that moment, Cordy actually gets snatched up by some vampires.
She does.
Buffy doesn't notice because she's too, being hardcore and walking away without turning around.
I mean, they were pretty stealthy about it.
Yeah.
So,
but Cordy's whisked away, and she finds Miss Calendar in a room that they throw her in, unconscious.
yes.
When the fuck did they grab her?
That is a good question. There's only 45 minutes to the episode. They needed commercial time.
They did.
So,
and honestly, I'm actually glad they didn't show it, because it made this scene of her getting grabbed even more like, holy shit, what the hell?
right. I mean, expositorily, however that word goes, it wasn't really necessary.
Yep.
Moving along.
So the next day, they're at school. No one notices that Cordy's gone. But it's Willow, Xander, and Giles talking.
Yeah, they're wondering, Xander and Willow think that Buffy's possessed, and
Yep.
Xander very briefly is like, I mean, are we just not entertaining the idea that she's attracted to me? And then everybody kiboshes that immediately.
Himself included.
So again, good on you.
Yep. But Willow is like, well, she was being such a bitch. And I wrote down the quote. Giles looks to her in a very fatherly manner, says, Willow, I think we're all a little too old to be spelling things out.
And Xander immediately is like, a bitka? And then Giles's face was priceless.
Well, and then he carries on.
In a way that I cannot describe.
Yeah, he's just like, I guess maybe we aren't too old.
Apparently not. Oh dear.
You mean besides me? No, I didn't ask. You mean besides me? Do you believe? I didn't ask. We have to achieve our dreams, otherwise we wither and die. We're going to the other cool place in Sunnydale.
Buffy tells them about the Master's bones, and then gets pissy with Giles for not telling her.
Oh, right. After she left Cordy, she went and found that the Master was dug up.
Yes.
But yeah, she tells them about it. They're freaking out.
Oh, I'm talking about the scene where Buffy walks in on them in the cafeteria.
Right.
So Buffy comes in, because she has a brief little moment after the bronze where she finds the excavated grave of the Master. And so cut to the next day with Xander, Willow, Giles, and all that shit we just talked about. So she tells them about the Master's bones, and then totally gets all pissy with Giles for not telling her that he's heard of revivification rituals before, even though he's never heard of them being successful. So my question is, what is he supposed to just fucking tell her everything? Would she even listen?
Making a giant black hole on accident, that's terrifying. But the fact that we've never done it means I'm not really all that afraid of it.
Yeah. It's like, so, I mean, that's just is another straw on the camel's back of Buffy's...
But their conversation is cut short because the bell rings and Snyder walks up and he's like, don't you have class to be to?
And some of us have jobs, referring to Giles.
Yep.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, way to step on a faculty member's toes.
The Scooby Gang walks away, and there's a great line between Snyder and Giles where Snyder says, there's some things I can just smell. It's like a sixth sense.
No, actually, that would be one of the 5.
And it goes completely over Snyder's head.
It does. Either that or, again,
he's just used to it.
He's just used to it. Yeah. And then after that, Snyder also says, so you really have faith in those kids, don't you? And Giles is like, yes, I do. And Snyder's like, weird, as he walks away. Something.
So it goes to the library.
Something.
Where Giles is looking up
Complete.
what'd you call it? The
Revivification.
I can't fucking say that.
I can hardly say it. My spell check is going crazy too, so it's fine.
Revivification.
Fairly certain that's what he said, though.
Damn, that's hard to say.
Just cue me every time you want to say it, and I'll say it.
That works.
Revivification.
So Giles is like, oh, my Latin's rusty. It looks like the closest to the master has to be sacrificed to bring him back.
Yeah.
And Buffy's like, well, that's me. That means, because he killed me. You can only get so close after that.
Right. And then a rock flies through the window and Buffy catches it.
Yep.
Completely nonchalantly.
Very much so. And the note has Cordy's bracelet on it, and it says that Buffy needs to go to the Bronze to get Cordy.
Or she's dinner. And
dinner.
And Xander's like, they're going to cook her dinner? Oh, God, pretend I didn't say that.
There's a great moment where they're all just staring at him like, what the fuck? You're not even that dumb, Xander.
Right? But he is sometimes. At least that's where the joke was.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where the joke was.
He's actually a comedic savant.
Well, it was like, you can't go alone, Buffy. You forgot the last part of the letter. P.S. This is a trap.
Oh, right? Yeah.
She's like, no, I can't do this while watching over you guys. I'm sick of it. I'm just going alone.
So she runs off. I can take care of myself and shit. I ain't need to be babysitting y'all too. And she's gone.
She's gone.
To the Bronze.
But of course,
The Bronze.
she runs into Angel. And she's like on her way to go save Cordy's life and like trying to pick a fight with Angel.
Enter Angelus.
And Angel is like, don't you have somewhere to fucking be? What
Right?
the hell are you doing?
Yeah. So I get that she has trust issues. I mean, she doesn't really need too many excuses. He's a vampire.
Right.
Sure. But
This whole episode, I can understand her having issues with what happened after the Master.
Uh-huh.
I can understand her being very afraid and confused, and the problem that this would create with someone who is so powerful but feeling powerless.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're going for here, is what happens to somebody who is so powerful but still feels powerless. And I get that that's what they're going for, but some of the personality changes over this episode for her character don't quite fit.
Lacks a bit in execution, huh?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a bit too off the mark.
I can get on board with that.
This bit here really bothers me because she's like, oh, okay, I gotta go save somebody, but then trying to pick a fight with Angel on the way and like half in her head obviously ignoring that she has to go save somebody because Angel has to remind her that she's off to go save somebody. That doesn't fit in any scope of how I imagine her as a character working.
Also, it's super inconsistent that she walks into the Bronze and he follows her right in and she has no issue with that.
Yeah.
Whatever. Right after she told him to fuck off.
But Cordy's not there. There's just this one female vampire, and they're like, why is there only one vampire here?
Cut back to the library. Uh-oh, it was a trap, but not for Buffy.
Right. And just back at the library, Giles is reading, oh, this translation is wrong. It doesn't mean who's the closest to the Master. It means who was nearest him when he died.
Physically in proximity.
And if you remember from the season finale, Xander, Angel, and Buffy were on the roof. So they were on the roof when the Master died in the library. The people who were in the library was Miss Calendar, Cordy, Willow, and Giles.
Yeah. I do.
So they were physically
recall.
the closest to the Master when he died, so they get all captured.
Yes.
Buffy runs back has Angel watch the vampire that they captured at the Bronze, runs back to the library, discovers that Xander is there, bleeding from the face.
A bit. He's bleeding a bit. out of his nose.
And his mouth a little bit, maybe kind of. He looks like he took a couple of hits.
A couple, probably.
He's legitimately pissed at her.
Yeah,
and
he threatens to kill her.
Oh, like
if Willow is hurt.
If the scene with the dancing didn't tell me that he's over this shit, like this moment right here where he's like, if something happens to Willow, I will kill you.
Yeah, and I'm like, good luck, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah, and damn. It's the moment where it's like, oh damn, no, like Willow is one of the most important people in this fucker's life.
Yeah,
and he is pissed, and she's pissed too.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you're here. The reason why it's now. There's a reason why you're here. The reason why it's now.
So they go back to the bronze, and she tortures the vampire. Oh my god, she tortures the vampire.
Who Angel's still just hanging on to.
Yep.
Because she asked him to. Even though she pointedly did not want his help at all.
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
To torture the vampire, she puts her necklace cross in the vampire's mouth.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Oh my god.
That was fun.
I'm kind of like, damn, that's a bit much, don't you think?
Nah.
But it's a vampire, so it's a demon, so I guess, it works.
They're not waterboarding her, okay, Rex? Jesus. We don't need to start a national campaign about it. God damn.
No waterboarding vampires.
Okay, so they pretty much just cut to the anointed underground bullshit.
They set up this big contraption where the master's bones are on a big table, and they hung the four of them from their feet, and they're dangling them above the master. I guess they're going to cut their throats.
Yeah, I think they were going to bleed them over the master's bones. And may I say, it was very satisfying the way all four of them swung in tandem together.
Honestly,
like that.
I think they just literally strung them up by their feet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was real physics right there, son.
Yeah, and that's holy shit. That's kind of impressive because I think it was the actual actors and not necessarily stunt doubles.
It appeared to be. I mean, they don't need to do anything except not pass out.
Right.
Frankly, if they do, they still got the shot.
Yeah. Hang here, relax.
Yeah.
Take a load off.
We got some coffee and donuts for you when it's all over.
So, the Angel, Xander, and Buffy come into the warehouse.
They sneak in the back. Yeah. If you can't hear the air quotes in my voice, you're doing it wrong.
They're listening wrong.
And
if they can't hear the air quotes, they're listening wrong.
That's correct. I'm pointing at every single one of you right now. So they're like, Buffy, we need a distraction. What are you going to do? She's like, I'm going to kill them all. That ought to distract them. And I'm like, great. And then let the feisting begin.
Feisting?
Feisting. And the start of this fight is fucking stupid, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? So we see a stake come through this vampire's chest from the front.
Yep.
He dusts, and then we've got Buffy standing behind him, and she's just holding her fists up. There's no stake.
This actually...
Did she leave the stake in him?
This happens a lot, and it actually it makes me question, because I've always wondered this. So there are times when Buffy stabs him with a stake and then lets go of the stake, and the stake disappears with the body.
Huh.
But if she holds on to the stake, the body disappears and she still has the stake. Now, obviously, it's just special effects. They have to dust the whole thing, I guess. They don't want to cut in the stake just falling to the ground. But it really, why?
And it was a really quick little moment. I had to rewind it a couple of times. I was like, wait. My subconscious told me something was wrong with that moment.
Yeah. And,
under any other circumstances, I wouldn't have turned it back.
I just wish I understood why the stake dusts with the vampire if no one else is holding it.
I don't think...
It's a dumb little thing, I understand.
I think that's one of those let it go things.
Have you met me?
Have you met me?
I don't let things go.
We're doing this podcast together. I think we're in agreement, and I'm just trying to move it along here. So
the fight here is pretty damn good. So the whole fight.
So, well, I mean, not a whole lot happens. So, random vampire, number 18, or is it, no, he's like the new leader who's not the anointed. Is like, well, no, she fights a bunch of vampires, some male, some female.
Angel and Xander get the rest of the gang off the pulley thing or whatever.
Did they? I didn't even notice.
It didn't really show it much.
Okay.
But they're like untying them and stuff. And Giles is like, is Buffy okay? Is what is she doing? And Xander's like, she's working things out and she's kicking ass.
She's working out her issues.
And the whole fight with one specific vampire is fantastic because the whole thing is shot from above. And it's a fairly wide shot. And you see the whole room that they're fighting in. Mm-hmm. It's a great fight sequence.
Yeah, they definitely splurged for some better fighting actors.
Definitely.
This time around.
And so then it's down to two final vampires.
Uh-huh.
One of them is the new leader dude, and he has a sledgehammer.
I have his quote.
Okay.
So he comes out with a sledgehammer, and he's like, "I'm gonna grind you into a sticky paste, and hear ye beg before I smash in your face." I don't know why I went Irish pirate on that. But
yeah, he wasn't an Irish pirate.
Whatever. And she's like, "So are you gonna kill me, or are we just making small talk?"
So both vampires run at her.
Yeah, she picks up.
This death is just fucking hilarious.
Well, she snaps off this torch. So she's got a stake on one end and a torch on the other.
Yep. And just spins it around once and then points it to either side of her. And they just oblige her by running into these things.
Double kill. Yeah, like he wasn't even fucking trying.
No.
They both just ran right into it.
Like, they obviously wrote this to, like, look cool, but it really just makes the vampires look really fucking stupid.
Overconfidence at its best.
Oh, God.
Definitely. And then Willow or Xander is like, "It's over." I think Willow's like, "It's over." And Xander's like, "No, it's not."
No, it isn't.
And super dark, broody, dramatic.
So this moment with Xander, and like what you said, this was a great Xander episode.
Oh, God, yeah.
But this moment here, where he's the only one in the group who understands what the fuck is going on with Buffy.
He's put it all together. Yeah.
And like he knows Buffy well enough to know what the fuck is going on and why the hell she's been such a mess. And she picks up the sledgehammer that the vampire had and just destroys the master's bones.
Oh, yeah. Just fucks that skeleton up. That, again, should not have been quite that well put together, but it was. Whatever.
Right.
Okie doke.
Who knows why? Mystical skeleton. Mystical skeleton.
Mystical skeleton does whatever a mystical skeleton can. That wasn't a bad cut. It actually came out like that, guys. So, Ben.
Is this from me? I must be ready. I need my strength. Give me more! Night, I shall walk the earth. Hold on. You've got something in your eye.
So Angel walks up to Buffy when she's like smashing the skeleton and she starts bawling into his chest.
Yeah, he's all, "It's okay. It's okay. It's okay."
And then the next day,
cut to the school. Cordelia's talking to Miss Calendar about the stains in her clothing.
Because obviously the thing to be afraid of when you're faced with utter death is the stains. And it's a point Miss Calendar even makes.
You know,
and you can hear her eye roll in the way she says it.
You really can. She's like, yeah, that's what's important when you're hanging upside down and about to have your throat slit, is the stains. And Cordy's like, I'm so glad you get me, or something like that.
And Buffy, who's looking very Valley Girl in this scene.
Was she?
Yeah, she had a sweater across her shoulders and like actually had the sleeves pinned.
Oh, dude, the fucking sleeves. I specifically was like, how are those staying
it's
together?
Like a safety pin, I guess.
God. It's like you really have to go out of your way to make that happen.
She looked like she was about to play tennis.
Yeah. I wouldn't know. I've only played tennis a handful of times.
I'm working off of knowledge from TV, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, mostly Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes.
Carlton.
Yes.
Always dressed like that.
Thank you, Carlton.
What's that song he dances to?
It's not unusual.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. But no, I'm doing the dance. I promise. I'm also still double fisting my beer while doing the Carlton dance.
I'm not double fisting beer because I'm drinking it faster than you are.
Give us your best gifts, guys. Make it happen. I
fucking love the Carlton
I'll throw
dance.
some pictures up on the internet for you to gif into me doing the Carlton dance while double fisting beer.
We need to record you doing the Carlton dance.
Shit. Fuck, now we have to.
Yeah, we do.
So next...
You know what, Josh? I will make an attempt at doing it with you.
Oh, God.
I might fall. I will probably break my damn face.
Why are we offering this for free? We could be making money off of this.
You know, probably.
Shit.
Anyway, back to the show.
So
Buffy's worried that Willow and Xander will be just so livid with her.
She thinks they're going to reject her or something.
They don't want anything to do with her anymore.
And Xander's all like, or Willow's all like, we saved you a seat. And Xander's like, hey, are we bronzing it tonight? I mean, we could smash our enemies' bones into talcum powder. Oh gosh, we did that last night.
And they're back to normal.
And then plays some stupidly cheesy 90s music and cut to the only good scene we ever saw with the fucking Anointed.
The only one.
Do you want to say it or should I?
You can go ahead and say the line, but I'll set it up for you.
So, all right.
So, close up of the broken skull of the Master. The Anointed One walks out. He's the only vampire in the entire warehouse because he ran away like a little child when the shit was hitting the fan.
Yup.
And he just kind of looks around and he sighs heavily.
And I was totally expecting a fuck. Which it might...
That's what it should have been.
It might as well have been, but he's like, I hate that girl. And I'm like, doggosh, they gave you a real line before they knew that.
And he actually was able to deliver it well. The only line, period, in the entire fucking time that he's been on camera that he's delivered well.
It came out okay. And
it probably matters that he's like a year older than the last time we saw him.
Right. Well, and that's a gur-arg.
Yeah,
that's our episode.
Hey, got your steak. Hey, got your steak.
Did you like the episode?
So I guess just real quick, I'd say if there's one thing that I really took away from this episode, it's that Cordelia really should be the Slayer because she's a fucking sociopath. Even when she's nice.
You know, it actually begs the question of, would we want that? I don't think she could wield that power responsibly.
I think those vampires would be terrified.
I think everyone would be terrified.
When they see the look on her face, when she's like, did you just get blood on this dress? I will fucking kill you!
All of them are dead.
And just days on end of her just...
Oh, man.
Giles would just be helpless.
Could you imagine how awful Giles' life would be? If Cordy was the...
He'd be in chains. Just feeding her apples and
Like,
grapes.
Think of all the times when Giles is like, oh, she's such a 16-year-old girl.
Oh my God.
I think overall...
I think we just wrote a new spinoff.
Yeah, no shit. I think overall the episode was good. I was a little bit put off by the attitude change in Buffy being a bit too far from the norm.
It was a bit harsh.
This is the kind of attitude change you would expect by literally her being possessed or something. Like,
right.
It didn't read properly as being someone who had necessarily gone through trauma.
Yeah. It didn't read as emotional trauma so much as unnecessary bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it really was such a good Xander episode.
Excellent.
But more importantly, it was a really good Willow episode, too.
Yes.
Because the few moments that we get, especially with her interactions with Xander, just fucking heartbreaking.
Flooring. Utterly flooring. I wouldn't even classify it as... I would say it was an excellent episode for Xander and Willow's relationship.
Definitely. And I think this is the end of Nice Guy Xander.
Oh, God, we can only hope.
I'm going to go on record right now as saying that this is the end of Nice Guy Xander.
Yeah, sure. Me too. What could possibly go wrong? We could never end up eating our words. We haven't had this conversation before.
If I'm wrong, I will eat my hat.
Excellent.
Here's the catch. I don't own a hat.
Oh.
I hate hats.
Quick, somebody buy Rex a hat.
Do it, damn it.
Do it now.
So what's your quote of the day?
Quote of the day. Well, let's see. I missed one where Giles says, punishing yourself like this is pointless. And Buffy says, it's entirely pointy. I enjoyed that.
That was good.
Right? There was a Snyder quote that I missed. No, I didn't really miss it. He was just talking about he smells like a sixth sense and Giles. Okay, so I think I'm just going to pick this one as my quote of the day. Snyder says, there's some things I can just smell, like a sixth sense. And Giles says, no, actually, that would be one of the 5.
Yeah.
I love all these little interactions between Giles and Snyder. Giles clearly just outwits him consistently, and Snyder doesn't even notice.
He doesn't notice.
Funny.
He doesn't care.
It's so funny.
Snyder is so just true to himself and just a perfect beacon of, accepting the person that he is. That is what's important. I'm going to have to choose a Snyder quote myself, but I'm going to go with... Oh, apparently I didn't write it down. I'm going to have to go with the Snyder Locust line.
Okay, at the beginning?
Yep, at the beginning. What was that quote?
Give me a second. Right. So, Snyder says, always gets me. One day the campus is completely bare. The next there are children everywhere like locusts, crawling around, mindlessly bent on feeding and mating, destroying everything in sight in their relentless, pointless desire to exist.
More importantly, though, the way he delivers it, between the pause between the... it's empty and everything. And then before he says anything about locusts, there's a nice pause there where you're like, is he going to talk about the beauty of it being a bustling, place of learning? No.
You thought he was about to say something nice about kids for a change.
And he doesn't.
Yeah.
And the delivery is fucking spot on.
Spot on. Definitely.
So yeah, we both picked Snyder because anytime that man is on camera, it's fucking gold.
It is. We only get 3 good seasons out of Snyder. You know what? I'm just going to give as many quotes to him as I feel like.
Definitely, because he's fucking gold every time. Every time.
Every time. The Snyder. And then Odo runs in and he's like, get off of my promenade, you Ferengi.
Oh, there it is.
And he's like, I'm trying to run my bar here.
So this has been Beer with Buffy.
It has.
A few things we want to add is you can find us on Facebook and Twitter now.
As Beer with Buffy.
As Beer with Buffy. We even have a Facebook group that we can discuss episodes.
Should you feel the need to leave any comments or suggestions.
If you want to hear the episodes, you can now find us on iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify.
Feel free to contact us at beerwithbuffy@gmail.com.
Yep, and you can always find us at beerwithbuffy.com. And as always, I want to thank Ben Alexander, our excellent composer.
Excellent.
You can find him at Mad Music Maker on SoundCloud, where he has a playlist with all the music from the show.
Definitely. So please subscribe, like, share, do all that fancy stuff to people that you like on the internet.
And give us reviews.
Those.
Reviews are good on iTunes.
They are.
Rate us 5 stars because we're fucking hilarious.
Absolutely.
Or at least Josh is fucking hilarious.
I do what I can.
I'm mostly okay.
I use Rex as a launch pad. What can I say?
So this has been Beer with Buffy. I'm Rex.
I'm Josh.
Have a good night. I'm satisfied.
Sploosh.
You are the Slayer. Lives depend upon you. I make allowances for your years, but I expect a certain amount of responsibility, and instead of which you enslave yourself to this cult.
You don't like the color?
You have a sacred birthright. You were chosen to destroy vampires, not to wave pom-poms at people.
Why can't you people just leave me alone?
You are the Slayer.
Go ahead. Prepare me.
I'm a watcher. I haven't the skill.
Oh, come on.
By appealing to your common sense. Werewolves, incubi, succubi, everything you've ever dreaded was under your bed, but told yourself couldn't be by the light of day. One girl in all the world. Common sense. One girl in all the world. It was a bit, British, wasn't it?
Whee!
Wait, what have we done? Why are we watching this?